Hi everyone, this is Aaron Lee from Accounting 201. This week we are covering Chapter 4, Example 5, and it is determining cash basis and accrual basis earnings. The problem is, in its first year of operations, Noam's company recognized $28,000 in service revenue, $6,000 of which was on account and still outstanding at year end. The remaining $22,000 was received in cash from customers. The company incurred operating expenses of $15,800. Of these expenses, $12,000 were paid in cash. $3,800 was still owed on account at year end. In addition, they prepaid $2,400 for insurance coverage that would not be used until the second year of operations. So our instructions are to calculate the first year's net earnings under the cash basis of accounting and under the accrual basis of accounting. And then B, which basis of accounting provides more useful information for decision makers. What I wanted to go into is a few notes, kind of the defining notes about cash basis and accrual basis accounting. Accrual basis is accounting means that the transactions that change a company's financial statements are recorded in the periods in which the events occur, even if cash was not exchanged. And then under cash basis accounting, companies record revenue at the time they receive cash. They record an expense at the time they pay out cash. So let's go over to the problem. And so we can see that I have it set up here. We need to find the net income for cash and accrual. First, we need to label everything. We see that there are three sections here. The first we read about was the service revenue. So we're going to put that first because revenue minus expenses equals net income. And second, we read about the operating expenses. So we'll put that next. And then last, we read about their insurance expense, the prepaid. So first we'll cover the cash basis. So under the notes we took about cash basis, they record an expense at the time they pay out cash. We read that the company received $22,000 in cash from customers. So we know that that's out of that $28,000, that is what they received. And then they had some expenses. Of those expenses, $12,000 were paid in cash. So out of those operating expenses, we know that $12,000 was paid in cash. So we'll put that there. Then last, they prepaid for the insurance. So they paid cash for the insurance, even though it wasn't going to be used for next year. So we can see that the $22,000 subtracting the expenses, we are left with a net income of $7,600 under the cash basis accounting. Next, we're going to cover the accrual basis accounting. Now, this is talking about when the events occurred. So, in the first of the year, they recognized $28,000 in service revenue. So, we see that they don't worry about the what was on account or how much cash. It was the revenue total. It was $28,000. Next, the operating expenses happened this first year, which were $15,800. Again, the remaining $3,800 is not needed in this equation for this because we're just talking about when the expenses occurred. Now, finally, the insurance expense of $2,400 was for next year. So following the accrual basis accounting, it is when the periods in which the events occur. So there will be actually nothing in this insurance expense section. And so their net income is $12,200. And so we now have the solutions for A, and then which basis of accounting provides more useful information for decision makers. Again, this goes to, I would say, accrual basis because it gives a more realistic of when the things occur and what they're for. So this will carry over into the other balance sheets and so forth. So this is the problem exercise 5 for chapter 4. Thank you so much for watching.